Sure, absolutely. Stop. Hi.
Well,
hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. And you will see a new face. Now, for some of you, many of you will know who this lady is. This is Andrea from Lilac Lantern. And we've collaborated before, isn't it? So this is actually our second collaboration.
Yes.
And I just thought it would be wonderful to have you on the show. And before people ask, everyone's going to be saying, where is Ganga? So just to let you know, we were just backstage with Lady G. And as you all know, Lady G likes to rove around in her van. And she's currently in the woods somewhere. I don't know where she is. And unfortunately, her internet connection has been kind of tripping in and out, hasn't it? So we've actually lost her a couple of times backstage. So when she comes on, of course, I will always be here to, make sure that she's on the show. So it's going to be a two-hander for tonight, but not to worry. This is not our first rodeo. And as usual, Andrea will not know the questions that are going to be asked for her. So we're going to do a combination of tarot and, of course, going to talk a little bit about astrology. Andrea also has her pendulum as well, her handy pendulum. And I just want to say, so Andrea, for those that may not know you, would you mind introducing yourself to the audience? And when did you start your YouTube channel? And what's a little bit of your story?
Well, hello, everyone. And thank you very much, Hogarth, for having me here tonight.
My pleasure.
And Lady G, I hope she does show up. It'll be a pleasure. I haven't worked with her before.
Oh, she's coming back. Keep going. All right.
So, yes, I started my YouTube channel in the summer of 2020. Wow. And it's been wonderful to meet this whole community, the readers, the viewers. It's such a wonderful place to be. And I've been psychic my whole life. Wow. Visions, dreams, understandings. I get a lot when I look at pictures. That's why I love using the cards a lot. I don't know the traditional meaning of the cards. I just go by the pictures and the story I'm getting, that I'm vibing off of them.
She's back.
There she is. Hi, Lady G.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Sorry about this. I'm out in the woods. I mean, literally out in the woods.
Wow.
Wow. How beautiful.
Isn't it pretty though? Yeah.
It's amazing. So just for your benefit, Lady G. So Andrea was just explaining. I was saying to introduce herself effectively. But many of us know who you are, but it's just to give that backstory. So you said you've always been psychic. You've always had impressions, but you're a non-traditional reader of the tarot. Correct. So you very much kind of go with your intuitive hits that you get on the images.
100%. That's a perfect way to say it. Yes. And since the beginning of the year, I've been really getting into my pendulum. I had it for a long time, wasn't using it. But boy, I really connected. Really.
Yeah. And I've seen. I was watching one of your shows the other night, and you and your pendulum, they're so well calibrated. First of all, like have you seen Andrea? She holds her arm like this. And then the pendulum's wobbling a little bit. And then she's like, right, okay, what we're going to ask. And the pendulum just goes, whoosh. And it's like, yes, no, yes, no. And I've never seen such a very accurate and responsive pendulum. So Andrea will be using her pendulum tonight. Lady G as well will not know the questions that I'm asking. It's the usual thing. Cold reads, everyone. It's the best. It's the best. You've got talented ladies that can respond to any situation. So now that we're here, also as well, let's do a few hellos as well. So thank you everyone for joining us. The chat is burning up as usual. And really with this channel, the chat is really another thing unto itself.
Which is so exciting that the viewers are like connecting, right, with each other. And hanging out and talking.
Yeah, there's Mark. Mark is in the chat, so we'll just say a few hellos. Tris is here as well. So everyone is greeting everyone else as well, etc. So what's going to happen is I'm going to start with the first question, but as everyone knows, I always bring in an international element as well, because there is a lot going on around the world, and there's actually going to be a UK question as well that I wanted to ask, because things here in the UK are getting a little bit But first things first. So, ladies, are you ready for the first question?
Absolutely. And hopefully I stick with it. I'm looking for the thing for my phone. I don't know how much of a charge I have. So if I disappear, that's what happened.
Live TV, folks. This is it. YouTube, like they say, live TV, live TV. Okay, so this question has come in from Satya Tarot Consultant. And she asks, are there other hidden, highly classified documents Trump has hidden? And if so, will they be found? So, of course, as we know, the Mar-a-Lago thing, which is just this extraordinary scenario. Many of us, of course, have read on this, but is there more? And it'd be very interesting as well to see what your pendulum has to say as well, doesn't it, Andrew? So what we'll do is whoever's ready to go first can go first. But as we're slightly worried about Ganga's connection, so are you all right to go to go first, just to make sure that we get something for you before? If you don't mind, but whoever feels ready as well, don't worry about it. It's quite fluid. All right, so I'll ask the question again. So, are there other hidden, highly classified documents that Trump has hidden? And if so, will they be found? That's the question from Satya Tarot Consultant. Let's have a little chop. Are there any more? I think I'm getting a no, but let me just see what my cards say.
Going in, I thought the work was, there was some good luck with the work to begin with. And we have the information, okay, but we've got the coffin dead, anchored in. So it's looking like not. But, he had a lot of ideas about what he was going to do with it, shall we say. And cunning, thought he was the fox, thought he would get away with it, as usual. So, again, we have the abuse of power, but we have the karma coming in. And the message going forward is his communication with that has reached a blockage. So, yeah, no, I think they got it all. They took it all away. But he had plans.
Yeah, absolutely. My goodness, the cards I've got for him. Gosh, wait till you see these ladies. What do you have, Andrea?
I got beware and nostalgia. So I double checked with the pendulum. I think he had or has some dangerous information about something in the past. So again, not when he was president. Ooh. I'm picking up. And I didn't ask if it was top secret. I just asked, did he have information? So I don't know if I didn't specify top secret.
Wow.
So he having past information that's quite dangerous for him to be knowing about. He's in possession of that now. Is that the FBI documents? Could be something else.
Yeah.
Could be from another department, another agency, right? Could be something else he has. And all I keep hearing with him is, selling to the highest bidder.
Exactly.
Yes. That's what we've been doing as well, isn't it, Lady G?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gosh, this man, it's just extraordinary stuff. Anything else to add to that before I read my...
Well, Linda's also noting, and I did see, this is sort of nuclear or dangerous.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
So...
Wow. And he had, because the thing is, I'll show my cards, but it's,
Yeah.
it's extraordinary how many papers this guy's got. And my one just reads like such, it's just reading like a novel right now. So my main card here, look at this, 7 of Swords, trying to what? Get away with something. This is the thief in the night, the one who comes and takes all the swords, or many of the swords, so the camp can't defend itself. So in many ways, this is like Trump, literally, well, we know, effectively stealing state secrets in order to almost disembowel and disadvantage his own country. I mean, this is really,
It's just the
really
word.
extraordinary stuff. We know we've seen a lot of cray from Trump, but this is really beyond the pale. Next card I get, Major Arcana. I get the Chariot. Things are moving forward, and this is the obstacle position for Duck Larange, you know, my little nickname for Donald Trump. This is now beyond his control. It's totally his control, because it's now unequivocal. It doesn't matter what they say on the so-called, you know, right-wing media, whatever. The documents were there. He was not able to wave a magic wand, you know, like have and go, bibbidi bobbidi boo. These documents are now declassified. I mean, what rubbish. What? It's not Mary Poppins. Do you know what I mean? My goodness. So look, this is all running really speedily, and he knows it, and his team. What is it about? Look at King of Pentacles, Duck Larange. This is Trump. And it's also talking about the sort of the greed and the avarice and the money. Definitely, if he has not already made great gains already on what was there, it was certainly his intention to monetize as much as possible. And I've even, when I was speaking about this before, I even think that these secret papers were Trump's trump card. And I think he was going to use them to really leverage and threaten. You know, he's beyond, you know, he's just beyond the beyond. Look what he's fearing, 5 of Pentacles. And it's started to happen. You know, now a lot of people are, you know, even the ones on the far right are going to have to put him out in the cold, because as all of these details come out, what are they going to do? We're defending a traitor. Yeah, we're defending a president who betrayed his country. Yeah, that's going to win us votes. Come on.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the side of that.
Exactly. It's supposed to be the, you know, the party of rule of law and blah. And now they're saying defund the FBI and blah. It's just absolute bonkers. And this is also what Trump fears. And this is effectively what's going to happen to him. You know, is his reputation at least is in ruins. And I think soon it will be the money as well. And then the out card I get for him, look, it's the Moon, which means even more secrets are going to come out. This is the tip of the iceberg, folk. And there's another question that will deal with that. So not looking good for Duck Larange. Anything else you would like to add to that, ladies?
No, other than it's just shocking. Absolutely shocking.
If he had anything left, it would be in Ivana's, in with Ivana.
Yeah. It's just astonishing, isn't it? That I remember like when I was doing my 2022 predictions, and I said, look, we are just going to see some stuff that we have never, ever seen before in our lives. And we're going to find it almost hard to believe. And there you are. We've got all these things. Okay, so now, and let me just click up on a few comments as well. Let's see who else is here with us. Lots of people saying hello to each other. Oh, look, someone, here we are. Diane RM, hello from Canada. Because Andrea is Canadian, just in case people didn't know. What's this? Well-being and health. Hello, everyone. Oh, brilliant. Thank you for joining us live. Okay, now we're going to go international. And forgive me, guys, if my voice sounds a little bit croaky. I had a fabulous party last night. And forgive me this digression, but you know that when you've got old friends, work colleagues and stuff like that, and there are certain friends, when we get together to have a party, this is how it starts. Everyone says, this isn't going to go on too long. I have to leave. We're going to leave by 11 o'clock. Rubbish. Before you know it, partying, karaoke, the whole shebang. Nobody left until about, well, it was too late to leave, but it was 4:30 a.m. in the morning by that point. There was no transport. No one could get any Ubers. So they didn't leave until like small hours of the morning. So anyway, so I'm slightly croaky, but had a wonderful time. So we're going to, thank you. So we're going to Pakistan. Has anyone heard about these floods? Oh my God, they are devastating.
I read about it briefly yesterday. People are losing everything.
It's absolutely extraordinary. So as everyone knows, I often throw in a bit of astrological weather. And a while ago now, I was saying, look, there's this conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter expands everything for good or ill. Neptune is the god of the sea. They're both together at the moment in sidereal Pisces. Neptune is just about to retrograde out back into Aquarius, but the point is they've been together for months. So if you've got the god of the sea, which is the co-ruler of Pisces, with Jupiter, which is the original ruler of Pisces, and they are both watery planets in a water sign, it means major water events. And what have we been seeing all over the world? Flooding in Australia, flooding in the USA, flooding in North China and stuff like that. And basically I'll just read off some of the bits here. And then there's Mars as well in sidereal Taurus, causing all of these problems with food, securities, agriculture, resources, assets of all kinds. So now they're saying they're worried about starvation because all the crops have been ruined. So what here? So apparently there's almost 1,000 dead at the moment, but obviously that number is going to go up. And the government has declared a national emergency, calling it a humanitarian disaster of epic proportions. Some places have seen 9 times the average rainfall in 1 month. Can you imagine? Imagine it raining in one day 9 times what you would normally get for that month. And they get pretty heavy rains anyway. What else have I put here? Mud house, because a lot of them have mud houses and stuff like that. So mud houses and stuff have just sunk below the water. Millions are now affected. They're saying up to 33 million people are affected, which is equivalent to 15% of the country's population.
Wow.
So this is absolutely epic, biblical stuff. The question here is, what's the future for Pakistan and similar countries? That's what I want to ask. And I know
every year in Bengal and India, they have massive flooding. So this year, I hate to think what it'll be.
If it's 9 times that, or whatever the math was. So do you want to see the environmental future for Pakistan? Is that what you're...
Yes, environmental future for
humanitarian,
but also similar countries as well, because with all these water events. So I just want to see what the both of you get, and I'll just click through and have a little look here on some things. So let's see here. Hello from Michigan. There we are. Someone's saying Lilac is fantastic. Of course she is. Otherwise she wouldn't be here on this show. Someone's asking here, Nancy's asking, how is Duck L'Orange still free? Because of historical injustice, Nancy. Whereas if you're rich and wealthy and you're famous, you get special treatment. But even for him, it's running out a little bit, methinks. There we are.
Yeah.
Clicking on a few ones here. Oh, what a fantastic group this afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Cosmic Giggler. I think, is that how you say it? There we are. Right. And thank you for the donations as well that have just come in as the ladies shuffle. Thank you, Azealia, for your donation. And thank you to Vivian as well for your donation. Very generous. $15.33. My goodness. Right. Let's see.
I'm ready.
You ready? Go for it, Lady G.
I get a lot of losses. And, of course, we're going to have water a lot of water happening. Very little in reserves. There's going to have to be the buying, the selling, and things, and I think there's going to have to be looking for aid. Now, this is something that's interesting. Look at this card. Behind her is a camel.
Wow.
Never seen that in a card before.
Oh.
Is that interesting? There is a camel.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of floods in desert regions. Now, I know here we had the flood in the, what's the name of it? The really desert area. And it flooded. Death Valley.
Death Valley.
Valley. They're having flooding, somebody said, on the Navajo Nation. So I think there's going to be a lot of flooding in desert areas that are not usually flooded.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? I actually forgot about Death Valley. So that goes to show you just how powerful, in many ways, that Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is. Because how is it that Death Valley could be deluged? Do you see? It's those unusual water events. Oh, my goodness. Amazing. All right. So,
well, I don't see good stuff, unfortunately. First card is bondage. So we see the person is wrapped up in all this sort of environmental catastrophe, really.
Yeah.
Right? So people getting caught up in it. Then I've got the Queen of Fire, which is indicating to me that I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Mother Earth's angry.
wow.
And there's going to be floods, possibly, and fires in various areas.
Mhm.
When you pulled that, I immediately hit on volcanoes. Might be
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that with that?
Yeah, I felt fire. Yeah, that rage, that sort of spewing from within. Yeah.
Feeling that. Yeah.
Sight of the owl. Now that is telling me we could have seen some of this stuff coming and we could have done better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If we had used our knowledge, which a lot of us realize there's global change or weather changes and stuff happening, but we aren't the ones in power, because if we were, we would have made the changes. So
Absolutely.
I hope this also means we still have time. I hope
Exactly.
that, with that sight of wisdom.
Yeah, we're in for a rough ride.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what I see. I'm sorry, I don't want to see that, but
Yeah, it's really tricky. And the thing is, when you were talking about volcanoes, you know what I thought of immediately, which is planet Uranus has just started to go retrograde, and Uranus, unfortunately, the planet of sudden shocks and events and stuff like that. But he is known for producing earthquakes and stuff like that. Earthquakes, but also as well, even things like heart attacks and strokes and just very unusual events. So we've got a lot of planets retrograde at the moment. So it means a lot of the energy is all about review, revising, reassessing, recalibrating everything. We're having to review and revise everything to do with the environment now, aren't we, as well? So I think it's Uranus is retrograde, Jupiter is retrograde, Neptune is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, and Pluto is retrograde as well. So we've got 5 planets all on the hop. So in regards to this scenario, and we've just got over 1,000 who've just joined us. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate that. It looks like here that the situation is not going to be rolling back anytime soon. Yeah, not for the immediate future, because look what I get. I get here one of the fastest cards in the deck. And also as well, he's one of the hottest cards in the deck, because this is the Knight of Wands, and Wands we all know is about what? Fire, heat, passion. And if we look at this in the context of Gaia and Mother Earth, everything is too hot. It's just too hot. And hot air is able to hold much more moisture. And this is also one of the reasons why we're having these... Well, we're having drought events and flooding events simultaneously, because everyone's like, well, how can everything be burning? You'd think everything would be dry, but actually hot air can hold much more moisture. So you get these extremities. So there's that. Next card I get here is the King of Swords. So I think this is now reaching the stage where people are actually starting to take this seriously now. I was saying to a client of mine who's got, without revealing too much, has got an extraordinary idea that can deal with rejuvenation of earth. Let's put it that way. Soil, yeah? And this person, and I could see from their chart, this person I said, look, you've been waiting for your moment to come. I said, your moment is coming now. I said, in 2025, there will be no more climate change deniers, because their own places would have either been affected or they would have just passed on and left planet Earth or whatever. 2025, no one is going to be saying, this is just a theory. Yeah. Oh, it's just, no. How many times does one's house need to be burnt down or flooded or, you know, what have you? So here, this is where the law starts getting serious. And I think we could see some serious, meaningful laws being passed on climate change quite soon. Why? Because we need stability. Four of Wands, we all need somewhere to live. No one can make any profit or any gains or whatnot if we're all either scorched to death or underwater. It's just not possible. This could also represent potentially not only the White House passing certain legislation, which of course Biden's already done, but this could be other forms of government passing legislation, because they're being very frank and honest now. There's no more equivocating anymore. Look at this. Ace of Cups. What does that mean? Water.
More water.
If we literally just look at it, if we just take that interpretation, that means what? Lots of water. So because of the heat, we're actually going to be having more water events. And that, of course, is contributing to people's emotions as well. People feeling deeply upset. People have lost everything. People have lost everything. And then the outcome card here, I actually get the Knight of Pentacles, which is a little bit frustrating. So it's kind of like they are going to be prepared to start putting money into this, but kind of like how you were both saying, ladies, this should have been done ages ago. This is a very slow, slow moving night. So I think the changes, we will make the changes, but I think they're going to be quite slow. Anything you want to add to that, ladies?
No. Sending out vibrations that or energy that these wild storms, whether it's heat or rain, don't cause so much devastation.
Indeed.
Grace.
Indeed. Yeah. Lots of change coming. All right. This is one for the UK. Yeah. This is one for the UK. And I just have to ask. I'm like, why I've got the ladies here. I have to ask them this question. Yeah. Because you can imagine, here I am in the UK and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Thank you, Vivian Rivers, for your donation. So I was like, please indulge me a UK question. But just to put it into perspective, because, you know, we've got a little bit of an inflation problem over here. Yeah. So what have I written here? So UK. So in the UK, we've got this thing called the price cap. Yeah. Which is something that can move, which shows the maximum that gas and energy companies can charge for their stuff. And it's based on the average family. So like 2.4 children, average bill. So it just recently, the UK's October new price cap has risen by 80%. Yeah. On the previous level, yeah, which was already high, the new price cap is 80% higher than that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, and the previous level was £1,971 per year average, gas, electric and stuff like that. And if you want to know what that is in dollars, just times that by 1.18. Yeah. And there you get in dollars. So the level now is, so it's gone from 1,971. And in October, it goes to 3,549 per year. Yeah. So the average.
Goodness.
So that means there'll be people that are paying a lot more than that. And not just people, businesses. In April of 2023, we could see prices reach over £5,000 per year just for energy bills on average. inflation is expected to hit 18% from January 2023. Now, remember, you guys have had a bit of inflation, haven't you, in the States, Canada, and whatever. Can you imagine if you had 18%? So my question is, they say 70% of pubs, because you know we love pubs in the UK. They surveyed the pubs, 70% of them don't expect to survive the winter because their energy bills are so high.
Yeah.
That's just pubs. So my question is, how will the energy crisis affect Britain's future going forward? And don't worry if you get bad cards. I can handle it.
Oh, no.
Let me just, let's just have a little look. Come on, Rika. Everyone's passport. Some interesting chat going on. What's the name?
Well, everyone is complimenting Lady G on her haircut. So can we just give a moment for her haircut? Beautiful.
She's so chic.
You take the thing and you go like this, and that's it, and they'll leave the band. That's the success.
She's being so modest, Andrea. That you know, don't pay attention. Like, she's being very modest. Ganga is very much a style icon who is just fabulous, unique.
Yeah, 72 years old. I'm a style icon.
Yeah, you're an inspiration. You're an inspiration.
Come on.
Oh. Hogan tonight. What's this? So there's more questions in there. So let's see. All right, let's just pause. So whoever's ready to go for it. As I pull cards on my own country. God. All right. What's the future of the UK going forward with all of this energy crisis and whatnot?
Okay, well, I think not great. I think, going forward, looking forward, and this is all, I pulled 3 cards that are all energy. The energy of it going forward is, we're going to have the younger people out there. It's going to be really difficult. They're just, starting their life, getting, trying to make their money, and it's a heavy burden. They're going to be out there.
Wow.
I think there will be a lot of protests and that type of thing coming up, and trying to look for some answers. How can we move this energy forward to make it better? But yeah,
I gotta just distress, and not only that for the humans, but also animals. How are people going to be able to afford pets, or if someone has a farm? What are they going to do? It's just chaos. Again, this card is just a chaos wheel. It's just going around and around. And that one is very interesting to me. To me, that's saying water's almost going to be the price of gold.
Oh.
It's going to be so expensive and so precious. But on the flip side of that, with it being so precious, maybe we'll start taking care of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Resources, water, solar energy, whatever it is, windmills, whatever. Maybe we'll start really paying attention to it and not taking it for granted. Because how often do you take water for granted? Pretty much all the time, right?
Yeah. Wow. We actually had a hosepipe ban announced in much of England, actually. Thankfully, we had some downpours, and literally within a couple of days, the grass has started to turn green, which just shows how quickly nature can recuperate. But that hosepipe ban is still in effect because they said we've been dry in the UK for so long. They said it would have to rain continually for months to replenish what we've lost, let alone what's going on in the west of the United States as well, which has just been, what is this, the drought lasting for ages, 500-year drought for the for Europe as well. It's just been extraordinary. Now, what's happened here, what's really interesting is that I've pulled my 5 cards, and I may have mentioned I got a little email the other day where someone was saying, too many of your cards are reversed. They meant it in a nice way. So I was like, you know what? I'll straighten out my deck. I think that's a really good point. Straightened out my deck and everything. And you know what's happened? 2 of the cards have turned up reversed. Sometimes, guys, it's just spirit. Yeah, it's just spirit. It really is. Sometimes you can put them all around, you shuffle, and then they still turn up. So my first card here, look, Major Arcana, and it's the Magician card. This is basically Britain trying to figure out what levers they can pull to survive. Yeah, because basically this, the way I interpret this card, it is almost going to take something close to a magic trick or a miracle to change our fortunes right now. So as you know, we've got this leadership contest between the 2 Tory, leaders, and it's like choosing between plague and cholera, to be honest, because they've been in power for 12 years, But this is them, like, basically everyone's saying you need to do something. So it's almost like even the energy companies are saying you're going to have to cap, because what is the wholesale price? Wow, we've just gone to just over 1,200. Wow. The international wholesale price is massive. Then you have the domestic companies that have to try and, basically distribute it to everyone. Apparently, they are not making a profit, and they are saying now the wholesale price is so high. They've recently said we can't even expect people to even try and pay these bills. Like, how can they even afford it? And that's coming from the energy companies. So I'm going to take something major. Another Major Arcana card. Look at that. The Moon, but reversed. And you know what I think this is really exposing? I think this is really exposing the sickness, the deep psychological sick. Because like when the Moon is, we know when the card's the right way up, it's not always the best of news, things coming out of the dark, blah, blah, blah. But when it's reversed, it can literally refer to illness, sickness, mental health issues, stuff like that. I think it also speaks to the mental health of the nation as well. Because in the UK, this is really, really affecting people losing a lot of sleep, over this. And also as well, secrets are coming out about mismanagement. 4 of Cups, reversed, not liking the options that are on the table at all, but we just have to deal with this grim reality. They're saying that they're going to expect this situation to last in the UK for maybe another couple of years. Can you imagine? Time for what? 7 of Pentacles, reassessment, deep reassessment. We're going to have to really look at how we consume energy, how we consume water, how we just deal with this kind of stuff overall, and maybe just managing it a lot better, because this is all a card of reflection, isn't it? Talking about harvest, isn't it funny? You were mentioning crops and stuff like that, animals. And ultimately, we've got the King of Wands as the outcome card. So the way I interpret that is, I think there will be new businesses and initiatives that will spring up to try and solve some of these problems. Because after all, Wands is about action, passion. It's the King card. So this is really like big business, entrepreneurs coming in to try and step in and fill the breach, basically. So, not great. Not great. Anything else?
I hope we get something good news tonight.
We got to dig deep to find something. Can you find something that we could get some positivity out here?
Look, I know it's all been a bit of a misery march, hasn't it? But I
feel like we're in the graveyard, just in the cemetery today.
I know. Sorry, folks. But it's just so challenging. It just is so challenging. Like one of our UK newspapers said, for example, it said, bad news on page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 16. Good news at the back of the paper. That was literally what one of the headlines was for the UK. Yeah, because it really is something. Okay, we're going back to the America on this one. So the USA Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, has sent a letter to the Intelligence and House Oversight Committee saying they are doing a damage assessment based on the documentation taken from Duck L'Orange. Yeah. So my question is, what is the likely conclusion of their assessment? And could we get some pendulum action on that as well?
Yes. Wow. Okay. And where was this woman? Yeah.
the likely assessment of what they found?
Yes, so basically, so Avril Haines, who is, so she's the director of national intelligence in the USA, apparently, well, that's what I was reading, has sent a letter to the Intelligence and House Oversight Committee saying they are doing a damage assessment on all those documents, yeah, that were at Mar-a-Lago. So
Okay.
all I'm asking is, and the question is, what's the likely conclusion of their assessment? How much damage or not has potentially happened?
All right.
So while you guys are doing that, oh my God, Karen Lloyd, thank you so much. That's $100.
Did you see that? Oh my goodness.
I need to click that up on screen. Let me just find where that actually happened. Thank you so much. So sorry, go please continue, Andrea. Forgive me.
Lovely donations. Everybody's so lovely.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are you getting, Eric?
Okay. The damage report with regards to Donald J. Trump Sr. and the files he had at Mar-a-Lago. Is this report going to show that this was extremely dangerous information that he had a hold of? That's a big yes. That's a big yes.
Wow.
Should those documents ever have left the White House or any secure location? No.
Wow. Of course not.
He plays with fire, I tell you.
It's extraordinary.
You just don't do that.
Yeah.
He's got to be the big guy, right? With the information to, you know, muscle in and muscle around all the other players on the game board, right? Oh, you want this? Sure, I'll sell it to you for $1 billion.
Yeah.
Never would you.
It's just astonishing, isn't it? It's just absolutely astonishing. Oh my God, I'm scrolling through all the chat. Lady G, what do you have for us?
Going in, they're looking at something new that was coming in, and with the investigation, they're going to find that it was a good thing they got him when they did, you know, because we were in choppy waters otherwise, because he had lots of plans up in the air with it that were poisonous. So what he had could have been really, really detrimental to the U.S.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it? That we're in these. There it is. I'll just click on that. Karen Lloyd. Thank you. That's amazing. But we appreciate the donations. Of course, no one has to be that generous, but that is just quite unusual. And thank you. Many of you donated. Forgive me if I didn't catch your name because the chat has been going obviously so quickly. Right, let's see. All right, I'll pull down my screen and let's do a little unveil this way and see what I get. So, oh, look at this. Oh, look. Look, Andrew, I got the same card. Oh, look at this. All right, here we are. This is pretty clear. So, funny enough, the spy in the camp turns up. How funny is that? The spy in the camp turns up. Yeah. But really, we can say this at least has a double meaning. There was the spy in the camp that, of course, let everyone or let the FBI know and certain bodies know that the papers were there in the first place. But this can also literally refer to 45 himself. This is literally Duc Larange himself being effectively a spy in the White House. I think it's going to get that far. I really do.
Yeah.
Because look,
absolutely. I mean, anybody that the first minute they get in, they send Jared to make a back channel to Russia at the Russian embassy, so nobody knows. I mean,
yeah, his games didn't start when he left the White House.
Oh,
exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. So for me, double meaning. Yes, there was a spy in his camp that has obviously tried to put the nation first or just decided it was time to get a bit of revenge. Yeah. or whatever. But either way, they did the right thing. But this for me is also really symbolizing Trump from the get-go, from the beginning, all along. You know, Russia have openly stating on their TV, he's our guy. He's our guy. Do you know what I mean? And then you get the right-wing media, you know, Tucker Carlson coming out with his BS and blah, blah, blah. And it's like Russian state TV. When the papers were being taken out of Mar-a-Lago, and they're like, oh, what's going to happen? How is Russia going to use this? They're like, we already know. Already seen it. Putin was like, I've already seen it. Like, what else needs to be said? Do you know what I mean? Look at this. I get the same card as Lady G. But look, it's reversed. So this really is proper delusion here. Like Trump, really upside down, delusional, wacky-backy thinking here. Because we know even when this can be about choices and stuff like that. And again, with this deck, I put all the cards the right way up and it came out reversed just to really emphasize that. This is very, very odd, strange behavior. Mm-hmm. And what was he using that for? What? To be the charming knight, wasn't he? To go there, he's going to be like, don't worry, I've got all of these treats for you. Yeah. It's like trick or treat for him. He was going to use all of these, you know, these papers. He was like, this is going to rake in the money. I'm going to be able to get rid of all my debts, which start maturing in 2023. He was like, the Saudis are going to give me this. This one's going to give me that. And if they don't give me what I want, I'm going to put the nuclear codes out there and threaten all of America to reinstate me. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. That's what that says to me. With that card coming out like that, with this, really, really bonkers stuff. But guess what? Someone's having to walk away here. He's gone too far. Mm-hmm. Only the most depraved of his MAGA bots are going to stick with him. But this also says to me as well, a lot of people walking away from him as well. I think when the full magnitude of it comes out as the year progresses, particularly going into 2023, and when people realize just how compromising it all was, how can you support someone like that who's effectively a national traitor? Do you know what I mean? Like, really? You want to support that? And then look, the outcome card, Wheel of Fortune. So this is actually, these revelations are going to change a lot of people's fortunes. Obviously, Duck LaRonge's fortunes are going to change. The fortunes of the GOP are going to change once it all becomes clear. Mm-hmm. The fortunes of right-wing media are going to change. But could this also affect the fortunes of the Democrats as well? Is this also part of something that helps change their fortunes in a positive way? Could this be? So there's tremendous change afoot. And this is like a domino effect. And I hope that the Democrats can take full advantage for it and for America to literally turn its fortunes around once Duck LaRonge has left the scene. That's how I'm seeing that. So there you are. There's a bit of positivity there. Oh. Hey. So we've got time. We've got time for another question. And I thought, in honor of Andrea's presence here today, being, of course, a Canadian, we had to, of course, we couldn't have the show go by without having a Canadian question. Yeah. So you may or may not know about this one already, but for anyone that doesn't. So in Canada, a woman called Giovanna Boniface, yeah, she rented a car. Did you hear? Do you know about this story, Andrea?
I heard a bit about it, yes.
Okay, so she rented a car. And, of course, we know Canada is a big old place. Yeah, it's a big place. Bit of mileage going on there. So she rented a car from Avis. And after driving roughly 300 kilometers in a sort of like a round trip around Toronto and stuff like that, which is not extraordinary considering the size of Canada and America and places like that, after driving approximately 300 kilometers, she was charged $8,000. $8,000 left her account only for driving around about 300 kilometers. Yeah. So it's extraordinary. So she rang them up, like she wanted to ring them up immediately, but she was due to catch a plane. So she was like, oh my God, I've got to catch a plane. You know, whatever, I'll catch up with them. And she tried to move heaven and earth to say, guys, this has to be wrong. I only drove 300 kilometers. It cannot cost me $8,000. How is that costing me $8,000? They said if the charge was correct, she would have effectively circumnavigated the globe. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So I've put it, price gouging has become a huge issue, because I notice in the chat in America and people commenting from Canada as well, like there's this whole theme of this price gouging, the money almost kind of being snatched from the account. So I put here, price gouging has become an issue. Will these companies be called to account? So Avis have said that they will refund her the difference, but it was only after she put a hashtag on social media and it blew up.
Yeah.
That's when they said, oh, maybe we've made a mistake. Terrible.
Yeah, that's a really big mistake. That poor girl, she must have went, $8,000. I only had the car for a couple days.
She had the car for 2 days and they charged her. I mean, isn't that just, but the fact that she challenged it and they were like, no, she had to literally launch. Why do these companies think they can do this?
You know what? They only jump when it hits social media because they don't want all the bad press or the brads. By the way, you've got a troll who is just
really
pounding the chat.
Oh, really? So let's see. Well, first of all, when it comes to trolls, we just do our best to ignore them. Now, people have asked me about moderators and stuff like that, but there's a little quirk, without me getting too much into it, with my channel in regards to being able to appoint people. So I'll just say, look, first of all, what these people are looking for is a reaction. So primarily just ignore them. And also as well, weirdly enough, you know what? I actually don't feel angry when trolls come on. I actually feel a bit sorry for that person, because they're obviously they've reached a point in their life where they're in such turmoil, such internal conflict, distress, despair, ruination, that they feel that by going on a public platform and trying to trash that whole platform and that energy and that beauty and that light, first of all, it's a failure. It doesn't work. And so what I just say is really, honestly, genuinely, I don't have any anger at all. I just wish you love, peace, and light. And if you are having to do that, then you really need to actually look at yourself and reflect. Because if you're in that place where it's so dark, you probably need maybe some counseling, some advice, someone to talk to.
They need some good medication to get a little balance there.
There can be that. So my thing is, I know it might be distressing for some people, but just ignore it. And funny enough, try and have some compassion as well, because that person is actually really sad. They're very, very unhappy. So I wish you love and light and all the best. And you're not going to stop our chat, and just go on to another channel or whatever. So I wish you the best. So did we pull the cards on that thing? No, we've not pulled it yet. So let's pull on the
pulling.
So, yeah, indeed. So who would like to go first? Who's ready?
So this is for big companies who are
the price gouging,
taking lots of money where they shouldn't.
So I'm ready for a change. Good news, about the health of this, the karma. It's a karmic thing coming up with that, because people have had enough being tied up with this mentally. And so this is usually my card for like democracy and that type of thing. So I think they're going to look into it, because there's just been too much grief with it. And they're going to start cutting these contracts of this type of thing. So, yeah, they're going to start having some compassion for people and cutting the contracts of companies so they cannot continue to do that type of thing to people.
Oh my goodness, my gosh, my cards. What do you have, Andrea?
I've got the sun shining on this situation and what's happening, and the big money that these companies are trying to hoard, all for me. It's mine, mine, mine. I want all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Wheel of Fortune upside down, their scams and schemes and whatever they're up to, that's coming to an end.
Mm-hmm. I've just blocked the troll, by the way. I've just found it. I've just blocked the troll.
It's cut. End of scene. These big companies aren't going to be able to hoard all this money anymore. You see how it's just, you see that greed?
Mm.
The greed there? Mine, I want. So that's good. I see it coming to an end because of the light shining on this.
Yeah.
And it is impossible when you're just one person trying to talk to a big company like, hey, I got charged too much. You shouldn't have to take it to social media. You should get through. But I guess they want a public display of shame before they do something.
But isn't that extraordinary? Like so many, because obviously, many of my clients are in America and they just tell me this stuff. Like even when you try and cancel direct debits, certain companies just come in, just take the money anyway. You cancel subscriptions, they come in, just take the money anyway. Like we have a name for that in the UK and it's called stealing. It's called stealing. You can't steal, people's money and all of that stuff. And just the final point on the troll as well. So they've been blocked, but just understand, everyone, sometimes there's some little glitches in the system and sometimes you can't actually appoint a moderator. And that is the case in my case here. So don't worry about it. We'll do our best. But don't give it too much attention either, because that's what they're desperately wanting. Anyway, so outcome for these companies. Look what I get. Three of Swords. Three of Swords. So really, I think, but this is also really, when I look at this, this is also the customers that have been treated this way. Imagine that. I mean, this was an extreme example, being charged $8,000 for that. I mean, they had to even be confident enough that the person had enough money in her account to even be able to charge that much. How did they know they could even charge $8,000 and expect? Do you see what I mean? It's really dark. But when we look at the next card that comes up, look at this, Swords, 10 of Swords. So I think this is people feeling betrayed and stabbed in the back by these companies, because they're canceling direct debits. They're trying to budget, inflation and stuff like that. And then they come in and take the money anyway. But I think this is also as well where eventually there might be some legislation or something like that. Why are they doing it? Greed. Yep. Just like you said, Ace of Pentacles. There we are. So this is them betraying. Customers are upset. They're betraying their customers. Why? Because of greed. Ace of Pentacles. And then look, we've got the Five of Cups. People really upset about this, but also as well, I think these companies eventually are just going to be called to account. And then hopefully we'll all be able to move on, but they're definitely going to have to kind of move on with their practices, because they cannot carry on like this. You can't charge people such outrageous sums. So look at that. Can you believe it? The time is, that hour has basically vanished.
It went so fast.
It goes so quick. Yeah, it goes so quick. So I want to say thank you to everyone for your donations and joining us tonight. I think it was, look, it's over 1,300 of you who've joined us tonight. That is wonderful. Yeah. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Lady G, of course, for your great talents and skills and being able to join us in the woods.
In the woods. Amazing. Yeah, for those that haven't seen, this is where I'm at. This is my
it's gorgeous. What are they called? The woods that you're in, what are they called, Lady G?
I'm out close by Bayview, or Birch Tree State Park. But up here in Washington, I'm up in Washington at the moment, close to the Canadian border. A lot of green. Yeah, I'm close.
You can feel the breeze of Andrea's hair from here, because we got two fabulous hair looks on this show tonight. Andrea's famous for her hair, by the way. She's very modest about it, but it's very very full.
It's a lot of hair. Well, I'm so jealous of your trip in the woods. It just looks heavenly. I mean, what a view.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, I live in Las Cruces, if you didn't know, in the desert. So,
Okay.
so this is nice to come up here and have a bit of the cool and the beautiful green of the trees and the moss, and it's just lovely.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I, of course, want to thank you, Andrea, as well for popping on the show. I think it's great having your energy and your skills and talents and the pendulum and stuff like that. And I would love to have you back on the show if you'd like to come back on the show at a future date.
I would
And
be, oh, thank you.
that would be wonderful. Then it could, could be, you with Lena as well and everyone. So it's been wonderful having you here. I think you did a great job. Thanks again, everyone, as well, who joined us tonight and dealing with the troll in the chat. They are now blocked. And we will see you, of course, next week. We will see what the world will bring us. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Sorry if we couldn't get a shout out to everyone. I tried to click on as many names as possible. But, the chat has a whole life of its own, which you will see in the replay. And so thank you for joining us. And we will be back next week. All right. Bye-bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.